So
assessments?
both of those tools give me a basic ballpark of where the kids are at. Last year with MAP, after the first time we gave the MAP test, we used the results to form groups for RTI instruction. So we use the BAS assessment for kids that are not quite meeting standards, or for someone completely new to the district or new to the country. It gives us a good indicator where they're at, and it does show more than MAP because it's so personal and interactive. So I can sit down and really get to know someone through that.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me more about that? What's intimate about the BAS assessment, and what do you learn when you're doing that with a student?
I think using that assessment is so different from MAP because most of the questions in MAP are multiple choice, and it could turn into multiple guess, so you don't really know an accurate score for them. Whereas in the BAS, you're asking a free response question, and they're answering you with a constructed response. Whether it's very surface level or if they can think critically and deep, you can really get a better picture of what's going on in their head.
Mm-hmm.
In my classroom, I used my ROP student, and she and I both took a group of 5, and the other kids, we gave an inquiry project. And the kids had choice of researching a scientist and creating a podcast. They could have researched the water cycle and shown what they knew with Google Drawing. Or the third choice was to research recycling and create an Adobe Spark page, which a few kids really took off with that choice. They ended up interviewing Jill Buck from Go Green and Mrs. Galetti and Juan Chavez, who works for our district in the maintenance department. So they did interviews, they put the interviews on their Adobe Spark page and made it a big project. So while the rest of the class is working in partners doing really engaging activities of their choice, the small groups are getting instruction from my ROP student and myself at their level. And we used the benchmark leveled readers for that. And we worked on the essential standard that our whole grade level was working on at the time, which was key details and main idea. So
Amazing.
the MAP scores really helped with figuring out who should be where and in what group. And that changed over time too, as they progressed and improved on their scores.
So since you did MAP last year and this year, what was it like when students were able to log in year 2 and build off the assessment from last year?
So one thing I noticed that was different is last year their scores were shown on the result page of this year's test. So for example, yesterday we took the reading test, and one of the students finished, and I peeked at his screen before he logged off, and I noticed that the scores from last year for reading, math, and language were on the screen, as well as his goal for this year. So he was able to see what he did last year and what they thought he would do this fall, and he actually was a point over his goal, so that made him very happy and motivated.